Hello, I am Jen with Honeysuckle and Glitter Disabilities. This is a video about painting, and it's part of my series on crafting for individuals with disabilities. This video is about the materials you will need and how to modify some of them. Let's start with the materials you will need. The first thing you're going to need is a palette. Next, you're going to need a paintbrush or a few. After that, you're going to need some paint. And following that, something to paint. I like to use tear-off palettes because I hate cleaning plastic palettes. I also use one sheet to paint on and cut the other sheet into small squares. I tend to only paint for about 20 minutes, and I like to be able to throw away the square when I am done. I got this at the dollar store, and the plastic pallets can also be found there too. Here you can see me cutting a piece of the tear off. I suggest getting quality paintbrushes. However, these can be found at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, or even Amazon. A decent set should be about $5 to $10 for 5 brushes. Anything cheaper and the hairs might come out of the brush, which will ruin the painting and lead to unnecessary frustration. More expensive brushes are not necessary for beginners. If you have difficulty holding a standard paintbrush, there are a few simple options. You can use a sponge brush like the one in the pictured here. I have found little difference in the sponge brushes at the dollar store and those found in craft stores. Therefore, I save money and I get mine at the dollar store. Another option is to add a homemade grip to the paintbrushes. I use a pool noodle and a cheap hacksaw, like the one pictured here, which I got at Walmart about 10 years ago. Start by cutting a 2 to 3 inch piece of pool noodle. Then cut that piece in half, as you can see below. Next, make one more cut so that you have a triangle with a curved side. This will give you an idea of how it should look when it's completed. You will have to push the paintbrush into the piece of pool noodle that you just made. Take the handle of the paintbrush, poke it into the top of the section of the pool noodle. Slowly turn back and forth as you apply pressure, pushing the brush into the pool noodle. You can also purchase grips on several websites. I found them on Amazon and Walmart online. They were about $20 for sets of 6. To find these, search for long foam pencil grips. You also want quality paint. This is what I like to use. I recommend this type of acrylic paint for a couple of reasons. First, it's easy to clean up. Second, there are many beautiful colors, so you are not required to mix paint. Mixing paint can be a complex skill. I recommend focusing in on the mechanics of painting first. Limiting the number of skills that have to be learned at once helps reduce frustration and helps keep you from getting overwhelmed. Make sure you get acrylic paint. You want the matte version. This brand has other kinds of paint, including metallic paint, which is difficult to clean up after. Whatever you decide to paint is going to require a set of painting skills. In the third video on painting for this series, I will cover painting on cork to make coasters. I recommend starting with paper. You can get paper for painting at the craft store. It usually comes in a pad. The most cost-effective option is basic cardstock. You can get a few sheets at a craft store for under $1 per sheet. Get a solid color that is slightly thicker than notebook paper. It should have a smooth texture, but it should not be glossy. The picture shows a glossy piece of cardstock. You don't want this. Acrylic paint will not stick to glossy paper. Other types of cardstock you want to stay away from is textured and overly absorbent paper. You will see an example of this in this picture. Thank you for watching this video. My next video will cover actual painting techniques for beginners. Please like, subscribe, and have an amazing day.